Good afternoon, dear Hive OS users. We continue our series of video tutorials in which we'll help you quickly and easily understand the operating system, optimize mining management, and increase income. In the previous video, we went through 3 ways of installing Hiveon firmware on our ASICs. In today's video tutorial, we'll walk you through installing Hive OS on a GPU rig, setting it up, and launching it. Besides, we'll make a small overview of the rich functionality of Hive OS that allows us to easily manage both a huge and a small number of our ASICs or GPU rigs, or even single devices. Let's start. To configure and launch a GPU rig, as well as to manage ASICs, we need to register a personal account in Hive OS. Go to hiveos.farm and click the Start Mining button. The system will ask you to enter your valid email, login, and password to register an account. Let's type them in. So we've registered our account and logged in. Now let's create our worker. Worker, as perceived by Hive OS, is one unit of any device, be it a GPU rig or an ASIC. Workers are united in farms. And the farms, in turn, are united under one of your accounts. Just like in the case of farms, you can create an unlimited number of workers. For instance, you have 50 devices in one location, 100 in another, 200 in a third location, and so on and so forth. To manage and monitor your devices conveniently, you can separate them. To do this, you can create several farms within one account and place your workers in these farms according to their territorial affiliation or to other parameters. Or let's say you provide hotel mining services and have a huge amount of equipment from your various clients. For the convenience of monitoring and management, you can create a separate farm for each individual client within one account and keep statistics on the operation of the equipment of each of your clients separately. To provide you with an example, let's create a new farm together and add our first worker to it. To do this, we click on the plus icon on the toolbar. A new farm creation window will open. There, we set the name of our farm. Let's call it, for example, Farm 1. Next, we specify our time zone and choose to use the auto tagging functions and the possibility of paying for the operating system through mining on Hiveon Pool. The first function will allow you to automatically tag all the workers. GPU rigs are marked with information about the presence of a GPU. ASICs are marked by model names. The second feature will allow you to pay for Hive OS with the mining pool fee on Hiveon Pool. We'll come back to this option a little bit later. Both of these features are enabled by default. So we've created our farm. Let's create our worker in it. To do this, we go to the farm. The system gives us an inscription that we do not have a worker and it offers to create it. Press create. A window for creating a worker pops open and there we select its type, GPU rig or ASIC. In our case, we choose the GPU rig. Set its name, let's say worker 1, and password. Great. Our first worker has been created. Now we need to download the software for our GPU rig. To do this, right from the page with the newly created worker, we click the download button and select the type of software image that we need. In our case, we use a rig on the GPU, so we download the corresponding image. While our image is being downloaded, we can return to the page with our worker and follow the link to the detailed installation instruction. Well, our image for the GPU rig has been downloaded. Our next task will be to write this image to a USB flash drive, or as in my case, to an SSD disk. We highly recommend using SSDs as they're much more reliable and in the future will help you to avoid many problems when operating your equipment. On the hiveos.farm/install page, you can see the link How to Write an Image. By clicking that, you can read detailed instructions on how to write an image, as well as download the necessary programs for doing this for various operating systems. This time around, I'll use Windows and the Etcher program. We go to the folder with our downloaded image and unzip it. As a result, we should get a file with the IMG extension. We connect our SSD to the computer, then we launch the Etcher program. Select the Hive OS image select our disk for writing, press write, and wait until our image is written to the SSD. Our image has been successfully written. Now we need to link our worker number 1, which we created in our personal account, with this image in order to be able to manage it. Go to the page of our worker in Hive OS and click Download the configuration file for this worker. After that, we copy this configuration file to the root directory of our disk with the Hive OS image. This file contains information about our rig ID and password. After that, we disconnect the disk from the computer, connect it to our rig, connect the rig to the internet, and turn it on. After loading the system, our worker appeared in the personal account. There we see a list of equipment that is present in our rig. Now we need to create a flight sheet for our workers. The flight sheet is the configuration of your worker that determines its mode of operation. Flight sheets allow you to create worker presets and switch between them on the fly with just a few mouse clicks. You can create multiple combinations of coins, wallets, pools, and miners, and switch between them almost instantly. All the information on creating flight sheets and using them, as well as much more on working with Hive OS, you can read in our knowledge base, the link to which will be in the description of this video. Let's now create our first flight sheet together. To do this, we click the Flight Sheet section, Create a Flight Sheet. The system will ask you to first create a wallet to which you will receive the coins you've mined. Click Create Wallet. In the window that opens, we select the type of coin that we'll mine. In my case, I'll mine Ethereum, ETH. We enter the address to which we'll receive payments. You can use both your local wallet and a wallet registered on the exchange. Let's call our wallet My Wallet. Click Create. The next step will be to set all the necessary settings in the flight sheet. To do this, we select the type of coin, ETH, select the wallet to which we will receive payments, select the pool which we'll use for mining. We recommend using our Hive On pool for mining, as it is part of the Hive OS ecosystem and is integrated directly into the web interface of your personal account. That allows you to complete many different tasks and observe statistics from one place without having to follow different links on the internet and to enter a lot of data on third-party resources. Besides, it's absolutely free to use up to 4 workers in Hive OS when mining ETH on our pool. In the order of priority, we select the pool's stratums servers so that in case of unavailability on the main one, your worker would not be idle and would immediately switch to a spare server, and you would not lose your income due to equipment downtime. Now we need to choose a miner program that will work with our GPUs. Please note that Hive OS contains a huge number of the most relevant miners for today for mining your chosen coin. They are constantly updated to the latest versions by our developers. At the same time, the system, from the entire huge list, will offer you exactly those miner options that are suitable for the coin you've chosen, so that you won't get confused by too many selections. In my case, to mine the ETH coin, I'll use Team Red Miner. It only remains to give a name to our flight sheet and to create it. Let's call it ETH Hiveon. Click Create Flight Sheet. Excellent. The flight sheet is created. We go to the list of our workers and go to our worker, to the Flight Sheets section, and apply the flight sheet we created to our worker by clicking on the icon, a rocket. Now our worker will apply all the settings we have set and start making money for us. So mining on our worker has started. Let's now set the settings for our GPU for more efficient mining. To do this, go to the Overclocking tab. Here we can create an unlimited number of overclocking profiles for our GPUs, for each coin, card type, or algorithm. Let's create our first ETH overclocking profile and apply it. To do this, click on the squares. We choose Algorithm ETH, and we set the frequency and voltage settings for our GPUs. Please note that depending on the type of card, coin, or algorithm, these settings can be very different. But you can always see examples of the settings of other users by going to the section Popular Presets, indicating the type of coin, algorithm, and model of your GPU. You can also ask other users for advice on setting up. They are always willing to share information with you in our Telegram channels in Russian and English. Links to our Telegram channels are in the description of this video. So we set the optimal settings for our GPU and applied them. In this field, we can see the values we set in the current overclocking profile. Also, we can always see the history of the commands that we sent or applied to our worker. By going to the Activity tab, we'll be able to see the full history logs of the settings and commands applied to our worker or a set of workers, as well as, using the filter system, sort them by the parameters we need. By clicking on the Hiveon Pool tab, we can observe our statistics on the pool for a given worker, its hash rate, and its profitability data. We can also go to the main page of our farm where we have a list of all our workers, and by clicking on the Hiveon tab, we can observe the complete statistics on all our workers on the pool, their hash rate, and profitability. By going to the Overview tab on our worker, we can see the full statistics on our worker, such as its hash rate on the pool, hash rate in the miner, frequencies and voltages, power consumption of our GPUs, temperature, and fan speed. Let's go through the latter one in more detail, since Hive OS offers an excellent tool that allows you to set the temperature limits for the operation of your GPU and fan control, Auto Fan. By clicking on the fan icon on the toolbar, you can set a large number of parameters for controlling the fans of your GPUs, setting the desired temperature to maintain and actions to be taken when it's exceeded. For example, let's set the critical temperature in Celsius degrees and choose what action the auto fan will perform when it is exceeded. Stop the miner, reboot the miner, or a complete shutdown of our rig. Next, let's set the target temperature of the GPU core, which the auto fan will try to maintain and regulate the fan speed, and the target temperature of the memory chips, the minimum fan speed and maximum speed. Turn on auto fan and apply. We see a message in the interface that the settings have been successfully applied. This functionality allows us to secure our rigs at the GPU from overheating and failure. AutoFan will always save your GPU in the event of a malfunction and will send you a notification that a failure has occurred on the GPU fan and your GPU is overheating. The next very useful tool that we will use for our GPU is Watchdog. The principle of operation is based on tracking the current hash rate of your GPU rig and taking certain actions if it decreases or is completely absent. In accordance with the parameters you specified, it can restart the miner or the rig if the hash rate is less than the value you specified. Let's set these parameters. Let's choose the interval for restarting the miner, 3 minutes if the hash rate drops below the specified rate. We'll indicate the interval for restarting the rig on the GPU as 5 minutes, if restarting the miner didn't help. You can also choose which parameter the watchdog will be triggered by, hash rate of the miner, program, or by the hash rate of the selected algorithm. This is provided for the case when your workers are on the same algorithm, but use different miner programs. Now we indicate the minimum hash rate at a value below which our watchdog will start its work. Please note that for different algorithms, the hash rate can be measured in different numerical values, from hash per second all the way up to exahash. Since on this algorithm, the hash rate of our worker is measured in megahash, we set the values in these units accordingly. Click Enable to apply. This functionality will allow your rigs on GPU to work without interruptions and avoid equipment downtime in case unforeseen circumstances and errors. Also, it'll send you a notification that the miner or rig has been restarted and its current hash rate has dropped below the allowable value. How then will AutoFan and Watchdog be able to inform us about the occurrence of any events? To do this, Hive OS has implemented support for a bot in Telegram. After registering, you can select the type of notifications that the bot will send you. To do this, go to your account and follow the simple instructions by subscribing to the bot in Telegram. After that, go to your farm, go to the settings section, and from the large list, select the type of notifications that you want to receive from the bot. Then click Update Telegram Subscriptions. This will always allow you to know in a timely manner about all the problems that may arise on your workers and take action in time to eliminate them. This will save your time and prevent loss of income. So we figured out how to add new workers, set up flight sheets, watchdog, autofan. Now let's get acquainted with the convenience offered by Hive OS for managing a large number of workers. We've created a large number of workers, and now we can monitor them in bulk from anywhere in the world where there's an internet connection, from almost any device from which a browser can be used, and also with the help of applications for iOS and Android. Links for downloading and installing these applications are also in the description of this video. Let's say we decided to reconfigure some or all of our workers to another pool, coin, or algorithm. To do this, we need to select several of our workers by holding down the Shift key and pressing the left mouse button, or click the Check All box and click the rocket icon on the dashboard. Then select the desired flight sheet from the list of previously created ones and apply it. All selected workers will automatically apply the specified settings and start mining another coin on a different pool or algorithm. Plus, for them, the settings of the overclocking profile necessary for this algorithm will be automatically applied with the other frequencies and voltages indicated in them. We can also set the parameters of the watchdog and autofan to our workers in bulk or in groups by highlighting them and using the toolbar. Another very useful feature is setting the schedule for your workers. Having created one, you can configure your workers to automatically switch in time to different flight sheets or overclocking profiles. For example, you have a different electricity price for daytime and nighttime, and you can create a rule in the schedule for when your GPU rig or ASIC workers will switch overclocking profiles, either for maximum hash rate or minimum power consumption, depending on the time. Also, if you're a large miner and have technical staff, you can easily enable or disable access with the required level simply by username. To do this, select the farm to which you want to provide access. Go to the Access tab, click Create Permission. Enter the username of the user you're granting access to and specify the access level. Click Save. Now the user you created the permissions for will have access to your farm. Also, in Hive OS, there's a very powerful tool for working with your GPUs, GPU Hub. With it, you can view all GPUs that are used on your farm. Filter them by many parameters such as GPU condition, manufacturer, GPU model, memory type, memory size, and other parameters. Also, using this toolkit, you can download and flash the BIOS of any of your GPUs, as well as change the overclocking parameters on each card individually. Go to the settings section in your farm. You can create tags for your workers there. With the help of this in the future, you can work with different groups of your workers. For instance, you have GPU rigs or ASICs that are experiencing certain problems. Let's create a specific tag for these workers. To do this, we click Add Tag and give them the name Problem. Let's choose a color indication for it. Then we click Save. After that, we go to the list of our workers on the farm. Let's say we have a problematic worker that we want to work with in the future and fix its problems. Let's mark them with this tag. We select these workers, then on the toolbar, we click the grid icon, select the desired tag from the list, and click Apply. This way, when we want to start repairing them, we can always quickly find them using the system of filtering workers by tag. To do this, on the main page of the list of workers, click the Show Filters tab. Here we can filter for the workers by various parameters. For instance, absence of hash rate, some with error messages, in the process of auto-tuner operations, and many others. And also filter by tag system. Let's find from the entire list 2 of our problematic workers that we have marked with the tag Problem. To do this, from the list of filters, we click on our tag. As you can see, all the other workers disappeared. There are only 2 of our workers left, which we marked. This functionality has a huge number of applications. I think everyone will find some advantages and usefulness from it. Also, to monitor and get statistics on the operation of your workers, you can go to the statistics section where, using the necessary filters, you can get complete information on your workers, such as informational messages, messages about a downloaded or flashed BIOS on the GPU, messages about critical errors, warning messages, or actions performed without errors. I want to note that the Hive OS functionality is constantly being updated, modernized, and filled with new and useful tools, helping you save your time as much as possible to manage both a small number of mining devices and huge farms on an industrial scale for tens or even hundreds of thousands of workers. And the stability of the software, coupled with reliability, protection against hacking and viruses, the presence of constant technical support from our side, allows you to earn much more, spending less effort and less attention on equipment. Let's get started making money together. Join us on Hive OS.